wise and refuse it not. Hear that? And refuse it not. Or else you're a fool. You're a fool. Can't nobody tell you nothing. You're a fool. You can learn from a baby. Believe this. Learn from anyone. But some people can't because they too high-minded. They think they all that, and you're not all that. Just because you're an Israelite, you think you're going to the kingdom. Better think again. You got to change. You got to become a new creature. You got to humble yourself like the Most High just said. Humble my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves. No private people going to the kingdom. Because you're wicked. That makes you wicked. And you creating people that's wicked just like you. Go to Proverbs 3:1. Hear the word of the Most High. Ye children of Israel. Proverbs 3:1. My son, forget not my law. Hear that? Say, my son, forget not my law. But let thine thy heart, which is your mind, keep my commandments. He said, my son, forget not my law. But let thine heart, keep my commandments. Say, keep his commandments. And if you do this, you say, for length of days, you're going to live a long time. Length of days. And long life. And peace shall they add to thee. That's what he said you're going to be able to get. Length of days, live a long time. And long life. And peace. Keep the commandments, you're going to have peace. So this is what we want. Shall they add to thee? He says it's going to take away from you. He says it's going to add all these things to you. By doing what he say do. Keeping his commandments. Man, that sounds... Can I read it again, if y'all don't mind? It says, Proverbs 3:1-2, my son, forget not my law. So don't forget my law. But let thine heart, which is your mind, keep my commandments. Keep his commandments. And when you do this, say, for length of days. Blessings. For length of days, to live a long time. And long life. Hear that? And peace shall they add to thee. Peace. We're going to be able to receive. And when you do this, the Most High can bless us to be in a state of Psalms 91. Psalms the 91st chapter. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High, keeping his ways. The secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. You're going to abide under the shadow. You know, like you got a shadow, you right there. By that shadow. Abide by the shadow of the Almighty. That's beautiful.
What was your favorite part of high
school? And with this, you know, you're going to have a way to be able to have this protection that he's going to talk about. I will say to the Most High, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power. In him will I trust. Because you trusted in the Most High. You trusted the Most High, you're going to receive this. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler. Jacob's trouble, right here. And from the noisome pestilence. Noisome pestilence. You got a lot of disease. They saying, hey, the next pandemic gonna be 10 times worse. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shall thou trust. His truth, which is what? Psalms 119, 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. His truth, the laws of the Most High. Shall be thy shield and buckler. That's your protection. See how it all comes together? He's not a man he should lie. If you keep the law, statutes, commandments, Most High, you're going to be blessed. When we read that in Deuteronomy 28, 1 and 2. And I told you the blessings are from verse 3 on to 14. And here we are. He's telling us the same thing. We've heard this all night. If you do what I say do, I'm going to be your shield and buckler. That's your protection. I'm going to fight just like he fought our wars for us in the past. You're going to be our shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night. Let you know terror by night. So you're going to be afraid of the terror that's coming at night. Nor for the arrow that flies by day. That's the missiles that's coming in the daytime. Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness. Pestilence, all these diseases and so forth. That walketh in darkness. We're in darkness now, y'all. We're shining the light in this darkness. Representing the Mosiah, the Mashiach Yahushua. The true lights. Shining in darkness. Mean ignorance. Not knowing and don't care. I mean, look at all the people that could really be preparing themselves for the kingdom that's still in the same position they were growing up. Remember it said, train up a child as you go, and when he's old, he shall not depart from it. They've been trained to be in all these different religions or whatever they believe in, and they really don't want to come back to this deep knowledge and mysteries of this Bible, to know the Most High, just a little. They choose not to. Sad, man. But this is going to happen. Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wastes at noonday. 12 o'clock p.m. Destruction is coming. You ready for that? Or 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand. You hear that? That's 1,000 on one side, y'all, and 10,000 on the right side. But it shall not come nigh thee. That's what we want. That's what this is all about. Beyond what our mortal minds can think. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. That's what we want to be. Seeing the reward of the wicked. With eyes. Or your eyes. Because thou hast made the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, which is my refuge, even the Most High, the habitation. Wherever you at, he's around you. Wherever you go, he's there. Making sure that he's there. You're thinking about him. Look, observing things and say, okay, that's like this in the scriptures. That's how I know him. That's how you know him. The comparison. That's why I say study to show yourself approval to the Most High, not to man, a woman, a child, or anything. Study to show yourself approval to the Most High, rightly dividing the word of the truth. Because thou was made the Most High, which is not my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. I mean, they got all kind of plagues right now. But he say, if you do what the Most High say he wants you to do, there should be no plague coming near thy dwelling. But like we went over, a lot of case scenarios of what works and what doesn't work. You know? You got to have the right mind. You got to think right. Because Because if you mean spirited, you have this pride about you, Most High gonna deal with you. Gonna deal with you. It's a hell and destruction waiting for you. We read it. It says, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling, for he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. You know the angels are right here on the earth. That's why, hold that real quick. Go to Hebrews 13:2. Book of Hebrews 13:2. So a lot of people don't realize who they're dealing with, or have dealt with. Hebrews 13:2. It says, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. See? That's why I say don't be forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. That's why you got to be in the spirit for these angels to come around to reveal themselves to you, or do whatever they're going to do for you, as you just said. Going back to Psalms 91, verse 10. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. So these plagues that they put on this earth not going to come around everybody's house. And the Most High will find a way to have us so that our house going to be safe and sound from all plagues. Because people can bring plagues to your house too. You know? They got everybody wearing a mask now, right? People can bring plagues to your house. Or people can stay away and don't bring anything to you. But some of you got people running in and out, you don't know where they've been. That's why it's very important being with the Most High. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. This is what Satan brought a Mashiach to. When he fasted 40 days, he was cutting them with the law of the Most High. Every time he said do this, he went to the law. All you just say we ain't under the law. He went to the law every single time. He said, for he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. See? So, this is what we want to be. In the ultimate place, Job 5:19. This is what we're working to be.
This is Nancy. She offered you a homemade
Job 5:19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yeah. In 7 there shall no evil touch thee. That's what we want to be. And doing what's right before the Most High. In famine, you know, there's food shortage. Like people are, rushing to the stores and nothing's there because everybody done bought up everything. Famine. People don't have enough to eat. It's cold, no electric, no gas. Famine. In famine, he shall redeem thee from death. So you can't really look at, because he give us signs. We require signs, so he giving us signs. Now you see the people, they're cold, their gas and electric and water is contaminated and so forth. Are you prepared for that? Or do you think, it can't happen to me? Are you prepared for this? You see it's happening somewhere else. Colder than it ever been. Breaking records. What if it just keep raining wherever you at? It could rain anywhere, right? We all could get rain, right? What if it just keep raining and raining and raining and raining? Next you know, the rivers are overflowing, it's flooding. Or that little puddle that used to be a puddle, the drains get clogged up and everything. Next thing you know, the streets is full of water. I experienced that here in Cali. Flooded. People that take trucks and go get people. Because the car is stranded. And the water's coming up higher and higher and higher. Oh yeah, you could do that. You know how it rain in California. But oh yeah, the Most High could do whatever he wanted to do. He had a tornado come down the street and just tear a brand new store up. Since they moved it from one location to another location. And once they built it and get ready to have the grand opening, he brought a tornado down the street and it landed right in that store and just tore everything up. Oh yeah? You better ask somebody. I love this. He said, he shall deliver you in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine, food shortage, he shall redeem thee from death. People gonna be dying from not having enough food. And in war, gonna be wars. They always talking about civil war. Gonna be wars, rumors of wars. There's wars all over the world. But there's gonna be war right here in America. From the power of the sword. Deliver you from the power of the sword when they warring out there. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, the things people saying about us. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. So if you're not afraid of destruction when it cometh, you got a certain spirit on you. You see? You're going to have a certain spirit. Because destruction is all around you, and you're not going to be afraid of it. You got to have a certain spirit. At destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. That's, man, you're going to be laughing. At destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. You're going to be able to laugh, or you're going to be crying. One way or the other. Either you're going to be laughing or you're going to be crying. At destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. We want to be here. Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. Let you know the Most High going to have the animals eating people up. They hungry too. They're going to be chop, 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 eating everybody up. That ain't really following the ways of the Most High. Y'all got to hear what he's saying. I hope. But thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to be. When the animals eating people up, they look, oh, just go away from you. Oh, wag they tails, be happy to see you. That's where you want to be. There's no better place to be, I don't think. What you think? I don't think there's a better place to be than to be under the shadow of the Most High. You know, Mashiach Yahushua. So when they bring the destruction, it's coming. He say he coming to judge and make war. He already have his angels on this earth ready to bring forth the judgment of the Most High. Look at Proverbs 3 and 11. Because we got to keep the balance going so you know that it's not just one way. And with it, we have Proverbs 3 and 11. My son, despise not the chastening of the Most High. Don't despise the chastening of the Most High, neither be weary of his correction. So hopefully the Most High will correct us before the time that we just read about in Psalms 91 and Job 5:19 down. We already corrected. And by our correction, we learned our lesson by him jacking us up and dealing with us in pain and suffering and going through this. Because some people ain't went through nothing. They ain't went through nothing. And they ain't went through enough. You better understand what I'm saying and what he's saying. But he said, my son, despise not the chastening of the Most High, neither be weary of his correction. As he correct you. And a lot of times you're being corrected by what? By the Most High's word. Somebody that knows the word correcting you to save your spirit. To save you. For whom the Most High loveth, he correcteth, even as the Father the Son in whom he delighteth. See? If the Father correct the Son, that's why the Most High, we his children, the children of Israel, so he correct us. This is what he does. We can't despise it though. Or we're going to find ourselves in a fight with the Most High. It's easy to point the finger at man or woman, but we got to overcome. What he's saying, Revelations, the 2nd chapter, verse 26. And he that overcometh, Revelation 2 and 26, he that overcometh the wiles of the devil and all the things that we are subject to in this world and following the righteous ways of the Most High. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works, his works is what we read about. Doing what he say do. Until the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. That's the laws of the Most High that we're learning, living and applying in our life. As the vessels of potter, shall they be broken to shivers. Those that tells you in Isaiah 60 and 12, nation and kingdom that will not serve him shall perish. Yeah, they shall be utterly wasted. Paraphrasing. As the vessels of the potter, shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. Let's see. This is very important. Very, very important. Revelations, the 3rd chapter, verse 11. It says, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown, that nobody take your crown. So you can go to hell any way you want to, just don't try to take me with you. Learn that. Apply that in your life. Behold, I come quickly. He said, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast. Hold fast to what you have, what you've been given. This word of the Most High. That no man take that crown. Don't nobody take your crown, your powers and authority away from you. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power. Overcome what? The wiles of the devil of this world. I'll make a pillar in the temple of my power, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my power, name of the Most High, and the name of the city of my power. New Jerusalem coming down, which is New Jerusalem, which coming down out of heaven from my power. And I will write upon him my new name. Remember, he gonna have a name that nobody knows but he himself. He said, gonna write upon him his new name. Let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches. And we the churches. It's beautiful. So where you gonna be? Verse 20. Revelation 23 and 20. He said, behold, I stand at the door. He stand at the door and knock. So I'm at the door knocking. If any man hear my voice, can you hear his voice? And open the door, since he's knocking on the door, get your attention. He wants you to open the door. I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. And sit down and have supper with a Mashiach Yahushai. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne. His powers and authority that the Most High had given him for 1,000 years. Even as I also overcame. He came here and overcame, didn't he? Yes. And am set down with my Father in his throne. See that? He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches. Hear that. Loud and clear. And we'll continue on this. If you have any questions, just comment. And with that, I'm out. Shalom.